Peace and love, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. And this evening, I'm so happy on this Monday, Moon Day, to be in your presence once again for the Healing Cipher. And tonight's topic, I think, is long overdue and is very, very important. Considering all that is going on right now as we speak, and is transforming that divide and conquer mentality to one of unity or one of coming together. So instead of dividing and conquer, let's unite and prosper. And that is the best way for us to prosper and to change the paradigm shift and the thinking and the consciousness by coming together. There's too much that has happened throughout our history when it comes to being divided, and this is one of the things that the enemy does is create divisiveness, turn people against each other, have people arguing and creating dissension amongst people, and we don't want that. What we want in our as we create the new earth, we want a better way of doing things. And so the old way no longer serves us, no longer benefits us. In fact, it doesn't benefit anybody. So the best thing to do is to transform that thinking, transform that alien mind, that thoughts of the negativity and the divisiveness. So let's transform it and create a new consciousness or a new way of thinking, which is coming together, working together in unity and harmony. We've seen enough disharmony. Now it's trying to move together in harmony as we rise in unity together. So I mentioned that the enemy, and the enemy can come in many different forms, but we do know that here we have a common enemy, which is a system of thinking and being and doing that has created this current state that we find ourselves in. And this mind frame that created the divide and conquer consciousness, whether you want to, you call it whatever you want to call it, it created this notion of this wrongfully taking place in society or in the world of domination over others. And so one of their tactics was to divide and conquer. If you can find a just a tiny spark of some divisiveness in a group of people, some division somewhere where they don't have a common interest, and if you can ignite that, you create a bigger division. Next thing you know, people are warring with each other, which is what we're seeing. Well, we've been seeing it for the longest time because there's always been wars and rumors of wars, but it starts with a divisiveness in the mind. That's where this comes from. So they play on that and manipulate it and divide it and conquer, because as long as you got people at odds with each other and arguing, as long as you have dissension and hostility, as long as people keep beefs going, you're always going to make them weaker and easier to control, easier to manipulate, and easier to conquer because of the divisiveness. It's just like if you have a table sitting up on four legs, if you will, that's the unity. The legs are holding the table up. But if you break one off, the table gets wobbly. If you take another one off, the table's wobbling even more. And then if you take another leg off, table doesn't have but one leg to stand on. Eventually, it's going to fall over because you have weakened it. You have taken the foundation from under it, which is the unity. So this is how divide and conquer works amongst people as well. And the reason why I'm bringing this up tonight is I am constantly seeing and hearing about these blogs and these vlogs and podcasts and different platforms that are out here, channels, whatever, TV shows even, that are capitalizing and thriving and monetizing off of the divide and conquer consciousness, although many of us don't see it as that. But there are shows and podcasts and different things out here that their focus is on anti this, women are this way or men are that way, or certain groups of people are this or that, or just the constant negativity, being hurled at certain groups of people, or, like the conscious community or this community or that community, whatever. This is what I mean by it. And there's some of these things that are just kind of like whenever I open up my YouTube app, sometime I see all these things, and some of it is just like, where did this come from? And then you hear it a lot. People are telling me, oh, did you see this show or this podcast or this or that? And they were saying this. And the people who are sharing these things with me, a lot of them feel the way that, they feel this divisiveness, or there's something in them that's upset about something. And so when they hear these other people talk about or inflame these negative feelings and emotions, they get on board and they join it. And they, next thing you know, is fueling more negativity, more anger, more sorrow, sadness, more hostility towards this group. For example, let's say someone has a show talking about women, how modern women act a certain way, or they're too combative, they're too hard to get along with, you might as well date women outside your culture or whatever. And then this person puts this show out here like this, or this topic, and they get people to subscribe to this frame of mind. They get people to participate and join in the camaraderie, and they get them to join in commenting and sharing this frame of mind or this thought. And next thing you know, other people are joining in. Now you have a whole movement based on what one person started or a group of people started. And to eliminate that, we can focus on the good that's in one another and come together in unity and harmony, and not divisiveness. There's too much of that. And one of the characteristics of the devil, which many of us recognize, the devil is in many different people. The devil divides. The devil creates confusion. It's the master of confusion. The devil mind also creates chaos and hostility. Chaos is the absence of order or balance or harmony or ma'at. So they create chaos and hostility. Sometimes they can start with just a word. They can just say something that can trigger something. And see, they can't trigger you if there's nothing in you that is vulnerable to what they're saying. But this is what they're doing. And it's already like the male versus female. So there's already a lot of that in our society. There's a lot of bitterness, anger, and contempt between the genders. And so many people know this, and they are monopolizing off of it, and they are creating more of it by putting this type of energy and this type of thinking and consciousness out there. And we face a lot of challenges, a lot of negativity in our society. We don't need to be at each other's throats, especially when it comes to building healthy families. And it starts with, people coming together to establish a family. And so we're always at odds with each other, and we're always being torn apart. And if we're always pointing the finger at the other one and who's to blame for the situation that we're in, we'll never come up with a solution. There'll always be that divisiveness. And it springs from hurt. A lot of it comes from the hurt that we feel maybe childhood trauma that has been unresolved and hasn't been unhealed. So a lot of our unhealed hurts, a lot of our unhealed disappointments and sadness is manifesting in these movements against certain types of people, the people who practice racism. There's some kind of unresolved issue within them, and it spews out as the bigotry and the hatred and want to commit acts of genocide and other harmful acts. But it comes from something inside that's not right, that's not balanced, that's not in harmony with their God self. So it comes out and it manifests as something negative. And so in order for us to counteract this divide and conquer mentality, we have to work on a few things to come together, like I said, in a unity consciousness based on love, peace, and harmony. So the first thing is to recognize that this divide and conquer mentality is the work of the devil. That's the first thing. Recognize it's the work of the devil. The devil meaning the absence of good, the absence of God, the Most High. Recognize that first, that this is someone trying to take you down a different path, and immediately pump the brakes on that. So that's the first thing. Recognize that this is not okay. This is not healthy. It's not benefiting things. Now, there's it comes in many forms, and it can disguise itself, and it can be fair seeming, but these things that are promoting bitterness and clashes and anger towards a certain person or certain group of people, whether it's the same, the females or the males or different races or classes or religions or whatever it is, this is the work of the devil. Remember that. To tear people down and to go on attack mode is simply that. And yes, a lot of this stuff thrives in our culture because there's an appetite for it. There are some people who thrive off negativity, who thrive off, who look for the negative, the bad. They hear something happens. Oh, I got to look it up, because they're looking for scandal. They're looking for the negative. They're looking for some reason to sling mud, if you will, on another person. So we have to move away from that thinking, that consciousness, that negativity, and transform it for good. All right. So first is recognize what it is. That's what it is. Okay. That's that alien mind, that negative mind. The sister was on the show, See Asia, a few weeks ago, and she talked about artificial intelligence. That's the artificial intelligence that looking to attack another. Okay. Looking for the bad. That's not natural. That's not normal. That's not healthy for us. That's not how our minds work, because we naturally want to be in a place of peace and happiness and harmony with one another. That balance, that supreme balance, that is a natural state of being. So here's some helpful tips to counteract these. Focus on finding the good in others. Find the good in others. Don't always say, well, all men are like this, or all women are like that, or all, these group of people are this way, or that group of people are that way. Always look for the good in people. Look for the good. There's some good in everyone, and find that good in them. Focus on what is good about them, what they do well. If you are angry and hurt because you got daddy issues, look at some other people who may have, be really good examples of good dads. There's some excellent fathers out there. If you have mommy issues, the same thing. Don't think that all women are like that, or don't take your anger out on all females. Look at the positive examples of motherhood out there. If you don't have that in your own life personally, look at the divine example of motherhood. Mother Mary, the Supreme Mother, the Mother Set. Look at the ideal type of mother, and then look for women who embody that. The same thing with the daddy issues. If you grew up And let's say your father wasn't in your life or in a positive way, using, trying to be positive. He wasn't in your life in a positive way or the way that you need it. Don't bash all men and say that all of them are, deadbeat dads or worthless or whatever, because find and look for examples of ones that are um, trustworthy. Look for ones who are good examples and setting those good examples for their families, and who are good providers as well as good supporters. It's more than just being a provider, because anybody, the government provides, anybody can provide for you, but the true essence of what a father is, look at that. Okay. So stop, looking for the negative, look for good in people and focus on the good things that they do. That will eliminate a lot of the scandals and the talking and all the negative commentaries and things like that, and just the negative talk that we're surrounded by all the time. So focus on the good in others. If you can't find something good in them, then just don't say anything. Just don't. It's better to be silent than to keep spreading and spewing negativity. All right, number 3, focus on your own self-improvement, your goals and aspirations. Yes, we can find 1,000 things wrong with other people and point to them and say what they're not doing right. But that saying, when you point the finger at others, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Focus on you and what you got going on. Many of us love to talk about other people, and we love to listen to the bad news and the drama and the whoop-de-woo, what's going on with other people, and then our own lives are a hot mess, are in shambles. Children running amok. We out of control. We can't manage to look the day in the eye sober or whatever. Many people like that. They love looking at what other people got going on, throwing rocks at them, but they live in glass houses. So the best thing to do to counteract that is to focus on your own self-improvement. If you're working on yourself and your self-improvement and bettering yourself, you won't have time to see what other people got going on. You won't have time to participate in some of those negative activities I just mentioned at the top of the hour. Those listening to those podcasts tearing people down, or listening to things negative about other people. You'll be so absorbed in your own journey and focusing on, running your own business, or running your own, achieving your own goals, your aspirations. You won't have time to see what other people are doing or what's going on these other people's platforms, or what's going on with other people. It won't be of any concern of yours, because you are concerned with, and you're not only are you concerned with your own growth and development, you're focusing on that, so you don't have time to focus on what other people have going on or what they're not doing, because you're focusing on and working on your goals and aspirations. If you don't have any goals, I suggest you get some, make some. I strongly encourage people to create goals for themselves. It can be a monthly goal that you create on the new moon of each month. It can be a yearly goal if you want to start your goals on the winter solstice. That's usually when I make mine, from winter solstice to winter solstice. Or if you want to go from the planetary new year to the next one, or the new year in January to the next one, or 6-month goals, whatever the goals are, make some goals for yourself. Start with something simple, which you can do every day. If you're one of those people that needs to get in shape, make that a goal for you. And if you want to lose some weight, or get your teeth fixed, or whatever it is, make that a goal for you and work every day towards achieving that goal. While you're working on achieving your goal each day, you'll be less and less concerned with what other people are doing. This is one way to cure boredom, negative thinking, and you won't have time to listen to, watch, or get embroiled in what's going on with other people, especially the negative stuff that's happening and the divisiveness. Okay, you won't have time for it because you'll be so busy with minding your business and working on you. Okay, so that's another one. Another is for stay in the light. Stay in the light. What that means is even when you don't see light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes it's very dim, you are that light. You are creating that light. You have to find a way to bring the positivity and be that positive change that you're looking for. So when people start telling you, girl, did you see such and such show? And they were doing this and this and this, and it starts fueling like some negative emotions or whatever, stop it. Be that light, change it, change the conversation to something positive. When they start talking or anybody starts bashing another group, that's when you jump in there and say something positive to shift the conversation back to that unity consciousness. When they, somebody, even if somebody comes at you and wants to attack, you stop it, rebuke it, and you say something to transform that negativity into something positive. That's how you stay in the light. Be the light, be the walking light, be that walking ambassador of peace that we need in the world, because it starts with us. If we choose peace in every situation, there won't be any mayhem and madness. The negative stuff pops up because somebody didn't choose peace. Somebody didn't choose to handle it in a peaceful manner. They decided to resorting to abusive language or physical abuse, violence, or whatever you want to call it, manipulation, cruelty, narcissism. But if you choose peace and be that peace that you desire to see, you can shift that consciousness and that thinking from that other person. Okay, so you can be the light. You be the lightsaver and change the situation that you find yourself in. Another one, 5, speak goodness. Words of power. Remember the words that we speak. And I have to, remind myself this all the time. But the words that we speak silently and aloud are power. Words have a frequency. Words have a vibration, and they give off a vibration. Okay. And it can be for the best or it can be negative, but we want to choose goodness. We want to choose power words, words of power, of upliftment, making others feel happy and balanced and harmonious and at peace in our presence. We don't want to always speaking negative mouth, bad mouth, just all the time. Speak goodness. Speak goodness and harmony. Speak love, loving thoughts, loving words. It comes from within. So we can change what's around us by the words that we're choosing to use. Okay. The word, and then how we're using it. How are we speaking to people? Because some people will not use bad words when they are trying to harm another person, but it's the way they talk to them and the things they say that is harmful and hurtful. Because I've had encounters with people like this, especially some of these narcissists. Some of them will smile. They won't utter a curse word at all, no foul language, but the stuff they say out their mouth is just as hurtful and just as ugly, because they know how to use and manipulate words, and they know how to talk to people a certain way to bring them down. Stop it, rebuke it, destroy it if you have to, and you be the one to speak goodness, speak power. When a person's trying to, when that devil mind jump up in them and they try to come at you in a negative way, you have a choice to stop that conversation. We talked about that on another show a few months ago, where I was telling people, when it comes to dealing with people in the holidays and them saying things that are not appropriate, stop those conversations. Take control of the conversation. Don't let other people control you with the things they say. When they are saying stuff that you know is wrong or inappropriate, or they trying to start some mess, you stop it in its tracks. Okay, that's what being rebuking it means. Stop it, stop it. That's not true. That's not how it is. I'm not gonna have this conversation with you. I'm not going there with you. Whatever you have to say to them, if you got to physically remove yourself from their presence, hang up, block them, turn the camera off, log off, whatever. Don't allow them to control and manipulate you and say things to you that you find offensive, disrespectful, or whatever. Just speak goodness, words of power, and only surround yourself with people who are speaking goodness and words of power. And the ones who are not, they'll leave them to talk to themselves. Simple. All right, number 6, avoid negative people, naysayers, and people who promote these negative feelings, ideas, etc. It's a plethora of them out there, because people are calling me and telling me about them. I happen to scroll down and I see them. It's lots of little tiny reels everywhere of these naysayers, negative commenters, people who are just determined to bring other people down. Like they can't say anything positive about them. They just keep going at them, or just the constant negativity. Like, what's the purpose of these things if it's not to spread joy, peace, and harmony? Ask yourself that, is this promoting joy, peace, and harmony in my life, in my mind, in my spirit? And if it's not, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not a good thing to do. Don't participate in the naysayers and the people who are always got something negative to say. Some people, and I've been there, some people are going through things in their lives and their chakras are out of whack, especially the lower chakras, like the root chakra. And so they only see and feel negative. The glass is always empty. They're full of fear, anger, hostility. They're not emotionally stable. They're not grounded. And so they're not in a space where they can be positive and uplifting, because they don't feel that themselves. Okay. Their like I said, their root chakra is not open and flowing. They're not feeling fully supported and loved by and so they're just speaking from their experience and from their own hurt, and they don't mean to project it onto you, but they are, whether they're aware of it or not. And so a person who's always negative talking and feeling and thinking, that's somebody that needs healing. And we've all been there at some point in our lives as part of the healing journey. And this is something that we have to go through at some point in some time. And this is like the barometer of your spiritual wellness. But don't you be the person to try to pull them up, because sometimes when you try to pull people out of a dark place, they'll pull you in it. So focus on you and your self-improvement and your healing, and just stay away from the negative conversations and the negative thoughts and things that people are doing and saying. And if you can't transform it and change it, then just remove yourself from it. Because remember, your energy is precious, your energy is valuable, and you don't want to contaminate your energy with the negative thinking and the negative feeling that someone else is spewing. Okay, they don't mean it, but don't take it personal, but it's just not the best for you. Okay, guard your mind and your eyes and your ears of what you allow yourself to see, hear, and digest in your mind. Like, if you hear that such and such is coming on and they're talking about, and there's something negative and it's not uplifting, there's no positive outcome in it, it's just the spew negativity, make a choice then. Choose the light. Choose peace over that and say, you know what? I don't think I want to watch that. I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to read that. I don't want to be engaged in that. No, thank you. And that's it. You got other things to do because remember you're working on yourself. So that's how that goes. Number 7, there's too much adversity around us. We don't need more. This is so true. There's too much negative stuff going on in society and too much surrounding us. And right now, matter of fact, this is an election year. And although I haven't seen the signs yet, I know they're coming. And I'm talking about the physical signs. And whenever there's an election year, you're going to start seeing signs or seeing the infomercials with the negativity, the scandals, the scandalous, talk about this candidate and that candidate, what they did, what they can't do, their track record, their past, their, whatever, what they got convicted of before, what they used to do, all this negative stuff is going to come out. It comes out every year, every time they have an election. And that's another example of what I'm talking about, adversity. There's so much negativity around us all the time, whether it's the news, media, social media, just the state of the world, and we don't need one more negative thing. So let's stay away from the things that contaminate our thoughts and our hearts and our minds, and our spirits. We don't need it. It's too much out here that's already going on. You don't need to ingest more to contaminate your fragile, delicate spirit. Remember, you on a healing journey, family of light, and you all are walking in towards the light. You all are light workers. You all are doing so much to bring joy and harmony to the planet. And just by working on and healing yourself, you healed yourself. You healed generations before you in your bloodline and your ancestry. If you're working on your healing journey and you're healing yourself, then you're healing your family. You setting an example. You're doing something that many others don't have the courage to do. It takes courage to heal and to be that light in the dark. It also takes courage to stand up against wrong, and so don't feed into it. Don't feed into the adversity. So you stand up and be that light, be that pillar of light in the darkness. And so, like I said, there's so much around us. Focus on what's going good and creating good in our lives and in our communities. So let's do that instead of just being a part of what's wrong with the world. We all know what it is. We all know what's happening here, elsewhere. Don't be a part of that. Don't feed into it. Find ways through unity consciousness to resolve some of the adversity that's around us. Instead of crying, woe is me, come with other people who are like-minded like you, who are solution-oriented, who are looking for ways to fix the problem and fix the problems together. That's how it works. And then once you all come together and work on an issue and resolving it, it doesn't exist anymore. On to the next issue. We can tackle these issues and we can tackle the problems that exist in the world by working together. That's what we do. All right. And the last one, uniting. Uniting can help each other resolve the problems we face. I think I just said this, and it's true. Coming together. For example, a lot of people are upset about things that are happening around the world politically. So they come together and they organize rallies, protests. They come together and boycott. They come together and raise funds to help a situation. That is a great way of expressing unity consciousness. You see an issue that needs to be resolved, come together peacefully and in harmony and come up with a solution. The peaceful unions is what we need. We don't need any more negative ways of resolving problems. War is a permanent solution to what could be a temporary problem. So we don't need any more of that. We need people coming together and putting their heads and their minds and their hearts together, not putting weapons together. And working together to solve solutions, because nobody really benefits from these negative, adverse situations. War, social unrest, racial unrest, class unrest, all the other problems. I mean, the problems just go on and on and on. Nobody's really benefiting from that, but except, well, there is someone benefiting from it, but the majority are being victimized by it and are not benefiting. So that same majority, that same marginalized group or whatever it is, needs to come together in unity, in harmony, in power, because together, we form a closed fist and we can work together to resolve these issues and help one another. As we help ourselves, we help others. Once you heal and help yourself, you can lift others up and be that positive light for someone else. So with that said, I hope this was beneficial to whoever's watching and listening. We can transform and change the negative into positive. It all starts with our minds. Just like the negativity, the devil mind infects and is a contaminant to our minds, we can cleanse that with the unity and harmony consciousness and raise together and rise together in harmony, peace, and love. So I hope everyone watching had got something good they took away from this lecture tonight. Please share with me in the comments what you think. Send me an email if you have any questions. And I forgot to put the banner on the bottom today. There we go. So there's my email, astralhealingarts@yahoo.com. If you'd like to send a donation on your heart, feel free to do that. Cash App. Send me messages on my website, astralhealingarts.com. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Astral Healing Arts. Wherever you see Astral Healing Arts, that's me. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the love and the support. It means a lot to me. It really does. Still working to get you all some great content and some thought-provoking and some informative videos. And it's all in the works. It's all being, planned. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Peace and love.